Welcome everyone to the foundations of tooth development. This is basically a intro to dentistry course, if you want to call it. Intro to dentistry. I think this is like probably the first intro 101. This is like your first course you will take when you start dental school or pre-dent. So we will talk about the basic principles of tooth development, starting with, as you can see, the cells and organs. Then we'll talk about the development and the embryology. Then we talk about the formation of the tooth and all the surrounding tissue. And then we will discuss a little bit of histology, what we can see those cells doing under the microscope. Then we will talk about mineralization component of tooth development. Then finally, karyology, our final end product. And just beginning, the most important thing in dentistry is, preventing caries. So caries is our end product. And basically, if you can understand what leads to caries, then we can intervene at the various steps and stop the process. So we can reverse engineer to figure out, okay, what are the cells that make up the tooth? What are the organs? How does tooth development happen? How is nutrition a factor? So when you take all these together, we can use this to prevent caries. Whereas we don't want to do the ancient row of just extract the caries, right? We don't want that. We are in the prevention of healthcare, not in causing of health problems, in essence. So let's start. Basic over principle is oral health. What is good oral health? Why is it important? What should we do about it? And how do we educate the patient? And I feel in professional school and dental school, we should focus more on how to educate the patient, but by understanding it ourselves first. So oral health, what's oral health to you? And why do you think we care? And then the next one is tooth structure. So knowing the different types of teeth that are part of the adult set, molars, premolars, canines, incisors, knowing the tooth numbering. And in US, we do US tooth numbering 1 to 32. And I personally love, picking by canines. So I like the canine numbers of 9, 11, 22, and 27. So then I just count, front and back by fives and in between by fours. So it's all about counting, from canines, or you can pick your molar numbers, or you can pick your premolar number. So just pick one set, and I wouldn't waste time memorizing all the numbers, but just go up and down from your canines. Okay, after that, we will do the eruption chart, and I will post a separate video on all the tricks to remember the eruption chart. Don't worry, it's just simple formula or simple drawings, so you don't have to worry about the eruption chart. Next comes growth and deficiencies. So it's just human growth and what causes nutritional which nutritional deficiencies cause certain types of abnormalities or dental anomalies, or caries, simplistically. And then we will talk about basic cell bio. So now we are at the cells and the organs. So what are cells? How do we make up the tissue? What type of signaling is involved? Cell differentiation. How does cell know what to become? And then what cells make up the tooth structure and what cytoskeleton holds that cell up. Next, we go into the development and embryology. So we will start with basic embryology. We'll talk about epithelial connective tissue and how everything from cells, organs, epithelial, connective tissue, embryology, how we can put all together and start our tooth development. So we're going to build this building called the tooth. So what do you need for that? You need your two basic principles. So you need 2 odontogenesis, you need 3 development steps, you have 4 stages in there, you have 5 growth steps, and then you have 6 cells that are involved. So I just like this better. You have to make one tooth, you gotta have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items in tooth development. Then we come into dentinogenesis and amelogenesis, which is basically making up of the dentin and then making up of the enamel. Then we form the bone, then we form all the structures surrounding the tooth, we call periodontium, form the root, and then finally eruption. So that will be part 1, exam 1 of our lecture series. Number 2, just to show you the flow, is basically we started with cells, then we went to embryology development, then we went to the formation, then we will go to few histology, and then basic principles of mineralization and then biochemistry of mineralization. Then we will talk about the genetics of tooth development and how that causes genetic changes and genetic anomalies, which can cause some abnormalities. And then we will just talk about the basic tooth abnormalities, such as, doesn't erupt, or too much cement, or bend at the roots. And then you will learn different names for these. Then you have karyology, which is caries. You have pH and buffer. Now we go to how caries develop. So first we have to understand what are carbohydrates, how are they metabolized, why is it bad. We can't just have a notion of sugar and carbs are bad for dentistry or for caries or tooth structure. We have to understand what causes, and if we can tweak a few things, then we can make the good carbs, bad ones, into good carbs. And what is the role of saliva and caries, and what is a biofilm? So that is our fundamentals to tooth development, fundamentals to dentistry. Like I said, it's basically intro course, which starts with basic cell biology, tooth development, embryology, and then we bring in the karyology and then how to prevent it. So if you can understand the basic steps, reverse engineer it, and then find a way where we can prevent caries and not focus on the old extraction. Thank you so much. See you guys in the next video. Please like, subscribe. Dennis Inside.